I mean, I don't even remember going, but I remember like thinking it was like next generational. Oh my God, this is crazy tech, and it was just like, oh, okay,
yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to Kinda Cultured. We apologize for not being here for the past 2 weeks-ish.
2 weeks,
maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but. We were doing our thesis, and it consumed us, and I'm working full-time, and she's working part-time, and...
It was hellish. We apologize.
Yes. But we're back, and we're hopefully... We're not gonna miss any more shows.
We don't foresee any more theses.
Multiple
theses.
Yes. And we still haven't turned it in, like the final version. We still have like edits and a little bit more work to do, but
it's getting there.
It's getting there, and it shouldn't take that much of our time.
Yes.
Anymore.
So you guys are priority, and let's get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we're talking about a little bit of pop culture for you guys. So most of you have heard about the whole Bella Thorne, Shake It Up girl, for those of you Disney Channel fans.
Oh my God. No, she's like...
This is normal.
No, it's not.
Disney?
Not everybody watches Disney. Also, not everyone is our age. But a lot of people are. Okay, but no, that's not where I know her from. I know her from...
Duff.
Duff?
Duff. She was in the movie Duff.
No, that's not that famous. I watched it, but it's not that famous.
Okay.
She's like... I guess I know her from, like, YouTube now. Well, not now, but she's like super problematic, like all the time, and controversial. Not to bias your opinion about what we're going to talk about next.
I mean, news to me, I had no idea that she does anything.
Well, she's friends with Tana Mongeau, and she's like big on YouTube right now.
Tana Mongeau.
She's the most problematic. But I love you, Tana. I love you. But yeah, anyway, Bella Thorne.
Yes.
Problematic. Also drugs. Sorry. Forever. Like, she's been doing drugs for so long.
Also, news to me. I mean, I watched Shake It Up.
Do you think she was like a beautiful, like, sweet Disney girl? She's beautiful, just not... I
don't get the impression that she's still a Disney girl. No. But because obviously, like, her style, like, changed. But her and Zendaya was in the show. That's how Zendaya got famous, too. And, like, obviously...
Bella looks 35. Zendaya looks 15.
Exactly. Like, they went on completely different trajectories. So, no, I don't think that she's, like, this wholesome...
Drugs... Success.
Stardom.
Drugs and sex, success. Not that you can't have both. You can. But, some people just choose one over the other.
Exactly. But nonetheless, most people have heard about her releasing her nudes because somebody was trying to extort her. And we just thought it would be an interesting topic because, I mean, it's a very modern thing, nudes. Like, how do you feel about it?
Well, so first about the Bella thing. Mm-hmm. I saw her tweets about it. Is that where she released it?
Yes, that's where
Okay, that's where I saw it.
I mean, you said something or, and then I was like, it linked back to Twitter.
To her Twitter. Okay, so basically she posted her screenshots from her messages with the hacker or whatever, saying like, these are the pictures I'm going to release. And of course the pictures were in the screenshots. And she just posted them and she was like, hey guys, these are my nipples.
Here's my boobs.
Yeah, like, we all have them. And
yeah. I mean, honestly, like, that must have been a really difficult decision, like, being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, I think there's bravery in that.
100%.
Like, it takes a strong person to be like, well, screw you. This makes me look bad, but I'm just going to release it. Like, I think that's
I also don't think it makes her look bad because I already thought there were nudes of her out there. Like, I was sure because of how she is and the kind of person that I think she is, or at least portrays herself as, I was sure that if I searched, like, Bella Thorne nudes, I would already find some things. So, I mean, not that I ever did. Of course I never did. Because that would be weird. But, I also don't think about her this much. But,
you suspected.
But yeah, she's the kind of person that, like, whose nudes would be out there because she released them and, like, she would be fine with them.
But I also think there's, like, a lot of people who take nudes and probably have them in their phone anyways. I don't think she was But I don't know if I expected that. But
she's a very, very, very sexual person, just like Tana.
Well, yeah, she definitely, and she said that. She was like, you know, I don't want anyone to judge me for my sexuality. I know that, it wasn't news to anyone that she had, like, nipple rings, because she has posted things that, like, clearly, like, those are her boobs. There they are. You know, I don't think it was news, but, like, I do think there was, like, it's kind of brave to do that.
Yes. I agree. Especially, like, you're taking ownership of your body and your decisions. And, you know, you asked me my opinion about nudes. Guys, anything you do on the internet, you have to be okay with it, with other people seeing it. Anything you do, like, on your phone, like, if you don't want people to see it or find it, don't do it. Because even if you take nudes for yourself, for your own enjoyment.
Or significant other.
Or significant other, you can leave your phone on a table, go to the bathroom, and when you come back, someone might have your phone, your family member, your friend, anybody, and see your nudes. If you don't have a password, but even if you have, like, whatever, your significant other might not have a password on their phone, or they might lend it to a friend to make a phone call, and the friend, like, gets into the photos, and they see your nudes, and they send them to themselves, and then spread them, and anything can happen. So, like, if you don't want your nudes out there, eventually, hypothetically, don't take them. If you don't care that much, take them, send them, do whatever you want. It's your body, and it's your choice, and it's your photos. But
I mean, that's a controversial, like, take.
Why?
Okay, so this is, like, a really good, interesting thing. So, like, you know, like, Whoopi Goldberg, like, after the whole situation, Whoopi on The View then said pretty much what you said. Like, it's 2019. If you don't think there's a possibility of your nudes being hacked, like, that's a problem. And, like, we know this, especially, like, with the Jennifer Lawrence and, like, it was a whole bunch of celebrities who got
Emily Ratajkowski.
Yeah, whatever. Kaylee Cuoco. Like, it was a bunch of people. And it was freaking appalling to see that someone would, like, invade someone's privacy. And took so many... It was, like, ridiculous. But point is that Whoopi shared your view, and a lot of people are, like, really upset about it. Like, they're saying, like, that's the take of, like, somebody from the older generation kind of dismissing that the younger generation, that's, like, what they're doing now, and it doesn't make them any less of a person for doing so.
No, I think the lesser person is the one that invades your personal privacy. But there's always going to be people that do that. That's the whole point. Like, there's always going to be shitty people that hack into your phone or take your phone without your permission or steal your phone and have access to your iCloud.
Agreed.
So don't, like, you have to be cognizant of, like, the things you do have repercussions, even as something as simple as taking a picture of your boob. Like, just one boob.
I mean, I think, like, it's true. Like, I share your opinion in that, like, the biggest, like, villain in all of this is the person who stole it and was trying to extort her. They are the person that, like, we should be like, oh my gosh, they're horrible, obviously. Yeah. But I do think, like, there's, like, definitely a generational, like, issue. Like, older people are gonna say, like, well, don't take the nudes, but, like...
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I think you can.
I'm saying take the nudes. Just know someone might grab your phone one day and see them. Like, if you're showing your mom pictures of your vacation and then you have a picture of your boobs.
At best.
I love that at best. Exactly.
We don't know what it is.
You know, they might see it and it might be embarrassing. But, like, just so you know, like, if you have your pictures on your phone, something might happen to them that is out of your control. But I'm not saying don't take them. I'm saying take them and be cognizant of it and do whatever you want with that.
Yes. Yes.
And it's not an old, like, it's something you have to be, like, that you have to know. Someone might take your phone one day, period.
I mean, yeah, and especially because you're a celebrity, like, there are other, like, security measures that you should take because you know that you were a celebrity. But what I was, like, reading in the comments, and I don't know if this is an accurate, like, comparison, but people were saying that, like, are you implying that her taking nudes, like, kind of like, you know, like, people who have the assumption that, like, okay, rape culture. Like, if you go out and you're, like, not wearing enough clothes, like, you're opening yourself up to being raped.
That is not the same.
And they're equating it to Bella. Like, if she didn't want, like, someone to steal it, then she shouldn't have taken the pictures. I don't know if that's an accurate comparison.
I don't think so. Because you get raped when you are wearing jeans because someone forcibly takes you and rapes you. But they can't. I mean, if they stole, like, okay, let's say you have a song you're working on and you have the files on your iCloud or whatever, and they steal your phone and they release the song, I guess that could be
comparable.
Mm-hmm. Like, if we're putting the nudes scandal thing into the same perspective, like, something you don't want people to see, you have it on your phone or whatever, and it gets spread.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, but, like, no one's gonna take your family pictures and be like, pay me whatever, or I'll release these. Like, you're gonna be like, release them, because I don't care. Yeah. But, like, the things you care about.
Yeah.
But raping is, like,
completely different.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, when I was, like, reading it through the comments, I was like, people are freaking wild. But, I don't know. I just think it's a crazy, interesting topic. And now that we talk about it, there's, like, this new show, funnily enough, from Zendaya, you know, and it's called Euphoria. And they actually said something about nudes that I actually thought was kind of beautiful.
I mean,
it's beautiful in that, like, I didn't interpret it that way, and now that they said it, I was like, well, I guess.
I bet it's problematic.
So she said, like, I know your generation, like, they're talking about nudes, and they're talking about, like, how older generations used to do other things.
Should we preface with what the show is about?
Preface. Yes.
Hashtag spend.
Well, actually, I'll do it after because I think that's one sec. Okay. So she said, I know your generation relied on flowers and your father's permission, but it's 2019, and unless you're Amish, nudes are the currency of love. Stop shaming us. Shame the dudes who created password-protected online directories of naked underage girls. And I heard it in the show, and I thought, like, it really stood out because a long time ago, to show, like, love, like, it would be like, you know, taking, like, the Letterman jacket, and it's like, oh, you're my girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. Like, every generation had their way of showing love, and if this generation's it's nude, like, I guess like,
that is not the same thing. Okay, I have a problem with that statement.
Let's hear it.
You can show love by asking someone if they had lunch because you're worried about them. You can show love by cooking something for, it's all about food, by cooking something for someone you love, or by, you know, doing something that you know they like, or giving them a gift, or kissing them, or hugging them when they're crying, or asking them if they're okay, or how work was. You don't need to send a nude to show love. And that is not the currency of whatever the fuck. It is not. If you want to please someone else with the how beautiful your body is, that's can also be a sign of love for anybody. I mean, the older you get, the less beautiful your body is. I think. I'm not sure.
That's on a sliding scale.
It just goes downhill from like 15, but maybe not 15, maybe like 20. But still, I don't think that's true. Like, there's so many ways to show love, and, like, you can be like, oh, asking your dad's permission is, like, old-timey, because, like, what if that's what you value, and you're just Gen Z still, but a little bit different.
But, I mean, your take is coming from, you're millennial. Like, we're millennials, and we think this way, but it doesn't mean that it's absolute. It's not the end-all, be-all. Like, what someone else considers love is what they consider love. I don't necessarily agree or completely understand why or what kind of love is it that you're sharing between nudes. I can't pretend to understand, but it's not for me. Like,
you can try to understand, though, just like they can understand why making dinner for your husband is a sign of love. Even if they won't do it themselves, they understand why, because he's tired from work and you don't work. You know, you lounge at home. Maybe you want to cook dinner for him when he comes home from work and wait for him like that.
But the way that, like, okay, but in the same way that you're saying that, like, that it makes all the sense in the world.
And, like, I wouldn't do it. Because I would never lounge at home while my husband works. That's just not how I do it. But I understand why.
But that's the thing, though. You're saying it, and I understand you because that's how we understand one another. But if you are a Gen Zer, you do not share the same sentiments. And because you don't, I get that. I don't have to agree with it, but I get that the younger generation, like, just, that's how they show love.
I think
I mean, it doesn't mean it's the only way they show love.
If I were to make the choice of sending a nude to my partner, and that's my way of showing love. Like, I understand that it can be some people's very little way of showing love if their partner really loves nudes or something. But I have dated people in the past that have been like, oh, send me a nude. And I would be like, no, thanks. And they'd be like, oh, you never want to do that for me, blah, 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 blah. And that's why they're not my partner anymore. And these people are millennials. Like, they're not Gen Zers. They're just immature. They were immature, like, however many years ago this happened. But, like, I think that's, like, so, like, smartphone era, like, people want to see nudes because they want to see nudes, not because they love you. And I think it's immature for people to think that just because you send a nude, you love someone.
But they're Gen Zers. Their age, they are
immature.
Exactly. Yeah, but like, I also think that when you have a whole generation of people thinking the same thing, you have to kind of start questioning. Maybe that's genuinely what they think. You can't just be like writing it off like, oh, it's freaking stupid.
Yeah, but like you have a whole generation of like 0 to 5-year-olds right now that think that like, I don't know, Barney's real or whatever the fuck is, Peppa Pig is real, I guess, because that's the new thing.
But it doesn't make it not valid because you don't understand it.
But I'm just saying, oh, sweet children, when you grow up, you're going to see the truth.
Well, of course, but like right now, I'm sure if you're in high school right now or you're in middle school, of course, on the other side of all of this, there is the rest of your life. But where you are, you feel like this is it. Yes. Like the relationships that you build here are going to last. You have this impression of life that as millennials and as older people, like we know that's not the case. But nonetheless, if that's how they feel and that's what they're doing, we can't look down on it and say, well, they're freaking crazy. Which is why I think Whoopi was wrong in saying that, like her sending those nudes, like she's almost accountable for what happened. It's not a fair statement.
She's not accountable, but she had to know that once those leave your phone, anything can happen to them.
Yeah, but like I think first and foremost, the conversation should be, I feel
why are people shitty?
Yeah, like why are people doing these terrible things? And then you can move on to saying like, well, Bella had a really sucky situation happen and I wouldn't wish that on anyone else. But I don't really think accountability or like Bella should have done this. It doesn't matter what she should have freaking done.
She did whatever she wanted to do. She did whatever she wanted to do. And this happened and it sucks. But also, it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's wrong that she sent news. I think you can do whatever you want, as I said before. But you have to, she has to know that anything can happen with that.
I mean, maybe she did. I mean, I'm sure she did. But, like, there's a lot of things that you do that you just can't imagine freaking happening. What are the chances of all the celebrities that they would take Bella's pictures? Like, I'm sure she knew, but
like if I'm a celebrity, right? If I'm a celebrity and I see something happen to that celebrity, I'm like, ooh, I wouldn't wish that on me. Why would you do the same thing that happened to her?
Because now we go right back into it. Yeah. If that's how she shows love, then that's how she shows love.
I think it's the same thing as like, oh, like all my friends vape, I'm gonna vape because I want to be cool. If you see the kid and you're like, oh, you know what? Maybe that is the only way for him to make friends. Go, babe. Go, baby. Babe. You're not going to do that. You're going to be like, no, listen. I mean, you might not understand right now, but there are so many other ways to be cool. Like,
but you have to think about it. Like when we were growing up and our parents used to tell us these things that are obviously from wisdom and years of experience. And we used to look at them like, okay, yeah, mom. Like, how do you know? Like, I think every generation has that. But like now that we're in this position, like we can't look at them and say, this is crazy, or like, I don't believe you, or I don't understand you. Like we have to be better. We have to be more empathetic. We have to care as a generation that there's young people growing up in this. And there's people freaking killing themselves when their nudes are being released and like people are shaming them for it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to shame them, but if Bella was my daughter, she's like 2 years younger than me, but if she was my daughter, or my sister, my little sister, or whatever, I'd be like, Bella, listen, it sucks. Next time you send nudes, make sure that you know and tell yourself that this can happen again. And, like, there's nothing else you can do from now. Like, they're released. She released them. She made the brave decision of doing so. Great. I think it's a good idea. Like, I think that's what I would have done.
I would not have done that.
I think that's what I would have done.
You said $1 million? Let me get my checkbook.
No.
I would not have done that.
That is giving him, like,
the power.
The power. And, like, proving him right.
Sure.
Yes, I am embarrassed of having taken this news. Yes. No, she's not embarrassed. She's a very sexual person. Like, already.
Okay, but it can be embarrassing. If you meant to send it for one person and now, like, anybody in the world can pull up your friggin' nudes.
Now, like girls
send
send their friends nudes. I'm on Twitter, guys. And you see the worst, not worst, I'm not going to say it's bad, but the craziest things.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that would be like a nightmare. To me, if I did it. Like, if someone forced me to do that, I would be like, no. But these kids are doing it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it, as long as you don't care if hundreds and thousands of people see it. It's just, I guess, Gen Zers are unique.
Yes, but that is like, so we were talking about the show Euphoria, which I encourage people to watch it, especially people who are our age, millennials, who are looking at the Gen Zers like, what the hell's going on in your head, guys? I think this show is very similar to Skins and like Degrassi, and it's like this coming of age show where you get some sort of insight on what's going on in the lives of Gen Zers. And like, it's supposed to be high school, but they're doing drugs and they're having sex and they're meeting old guys online having sex. There's transgender students. There's a, normal trope of the closeted jock. There is a drug dealer who is probably still in middle school. Like, there are a lot of crazy things going on in that show that I think is, simulating what's going on in reality. And when you think about that and you try to put into perspective that we used to be watching, like, Boy Meets World, like, their craziest thing was, like, I don't know, like, cheating on a test. Like, now, like, the lives of Gen Zers seem to be complicated,
Yeah. I was talking about this yesterday with, like, my mom and, like, her friend. Things are moving so quickly and so far away from the things we knew. Like, now, I was also talking about this yesterday with, like, a person in my office, and she told me that playgrounds now, because she has, like, 2 younger kids,
mm-hmm.
Playgrounds now, not playgrounds, I guess, spaces for kids to play are moving towards becoming places where they can play, places where they can shop, and places where they can Instagram or take pictures for social media. Wow. Because these kids grow up knowing that they're being filmed all and posted all the time. So the parents want things to post about their kids, and the kids want to play, and brands also want kids to buy, like, show them things that they would want to buy so that they can make money. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you've heard of camp in New York City or New York. I don't know if it's in New York City, but there's like 2 camps, I think. Okay. It's basically like the Museum of Ice Cream type of place where you can play, and it's also social media, and it's also a place where you can shop. Those places are made basically just so you can post them, like, for Instagram. Like, they're beautiful, they're aesthetically pleasing, so that you can, like, take a picture, hashtag it, tag them, and everybody knows about where you were.
Virtual reality.
But it is made for that.
Yeah.
And she also talked about this place called, like, the Unicorn Castle or something like that. But camp in New York is for kids, and you can camp in the place. It's like a controlled environment, though. Just like my dream for camping. But kids can sleep over, and they have activities and whatever, and they can, there's like, apparently it's like a toy store type thing, where it's like, they have a secret door that you open, and it's like, all the toys that are in the store, you can play with.
This is cool.
Isn't that awesome? Like, it's crazy. It's like Black Mirror-ish.
I mean, it sounds like Wanna-Do City, but like on steroids.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about Wanna-Do City. But that was like a little lame. Like, when I went, I was like, oh my god, this is my dream. Like, I'm gonna be able to be a model and a hairstylist and a pilot all in one day. And then I went, and I was like, I'm a little bit bored. Like, it was a little lame. Maybe I was too old.
I mean, I don't even remember going, but I remember thinking it was like next generational. Oh my god, this is crazy tech, and it was just like, okay.
Yeah, it was like, there's a runway, put on these clothes doesn't walk.
That's okay.
But yeah, that's the future of like kids, and
that's really sad. Like, there's a lot of getting older that like I didn't realize that I would be sad about. Like, the other day I watched Beauty and the Beast, and it's the one with Emma Watson, and I thought about it and I said, you know, all the kids that watch it now will only know Emma Watson as Beauty and the Beast and not as Hermione. And I don't know why, but like it brought tears to my eyes.
Oh my
I was just
God.
like, oh my God, like the things that like were ubiquitous as we're growing up, and like it's a part, like, you know, we talk about things like just like drop things into our conversation that references pop culture when we, like from the 90s. And now kids, like the stuff they're watching, friggin' Euphoria. I can't imagine my parents would not let me watch some of the basic after school specials. Euphoria, I feel like I need my mom as a 25-year-old to like watch with me. It's
I haven't watched it yet,
intense,
but
like,
I plan to, hopefully before the next episode, so I can give you my opinions. But also everyone at work is like, watch it, it's amazing, blah, 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 it's so crazy, it's super intense. Also, Zendaya released, I saw it on Twitter for the first time, she released like a disclaimer about her show. She was like, guys, the show's out, whatever. Be mindful that it has sex and drugs and it's super intense, so don't watch it if blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't remember the disclaimer. Yeah. But it was like, she was like, it's super intense, be careful.
But like, even before it came out, like, it was a big controversy because there's more like penises in this show than any other show ever.
Finally, it's always boobs.
I mean, that's actually a funny way to look at it, but
yeah, it's equality. Hashtag equality
of penises. And like the first episode, I heard there was like 50. I didn't see 50.
What?
I did not see 50.
Maybe they're in the background just like hanging.
Yeah, maybe it's like a Where's Waldo situation.
Yeah, like Easter eggs, like just here there.
But there's supposed to be a lot. And I mean, I heard that.
I'll count them.
Yeah.
When
She'll have a live counter for you. But it's a lot. Like, think about like 13 Reasons Why, which had a disclaimer as well.
But that's like different. That's like,
it is different.
Well, I haven't watched the Euphoria. I watched 13 Reasons Why, but that's like, you know, you're talking about depression and suicide, and you're validating it in a way by making a show about it. Not validating it. Like, that's a little extreme. Mm-hmm. But you're like, oh, she committed suicide. It's so cool that she left these tapes. Awesome. No. Aisha.
No.
Yes. I read that book.
I read
Fun
the
fact,
book too.
It was my favorite book for years. Well, I read it for the first time when I was in 7th grade.
I read it too young. I feel like I wasn't prepared to read it later.
I was like 13. How old were you?
Like 12 or...
Yeah. I was like 12 or 13. Maybe 13. But I loved the book. Like, I thought it was so interesting. And as a book, you know, it's more like if you want to read it and you're capable, like, and you're mature enough to read it, you read it. Or, like, even if you start it and you don't like it, you drop it. But when everybody's talking about the show, you have to watch it.
You have to watch it.
Just like Euphoria now, I have to watch it. I have FOMO. I also get FOMO very easily, but I have FOMO.
I will not be continuing to watch Euphoria. Like, no. I mean, like, even watching, like, Degrassi growing up, I learned a lot of...
I never watched Degrassi.
But the thing is, like, Degrassi was like an awakening. I didn't know anything like blowjobs, handjobs, like disease. Like, they don't talk about that in school. You don't hear about that
when you watched it.
Like middle school.
Well, I learned about all of that in middle school when I switched to the other school with boys, and they would talk about all these things, and I was like, hand job.
Yeah.
What is that?
What is that?
And like, I couldn't ask my parents because it was also a lot of terms in English that they would not even know, and I don't even know. Didn't even know the terms in Spanish, much less. So I just like Googled it.
Oh no, my whole like learning experience was Degrassi, and like
that would have been better. I think.
I don't know if it was better, but I think it was a little bit much to like see like a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old like do a blowjob, and you're like, I'm 15. Am I supposed to be doing?
Also, do a blowjob. Not give, do, perform.
It was controversial because like the stars were the ages, like they were the age of.
But they weren't really giving a blowjob.
No, but like when you watch Gossip Girls, for instance, they're like 20-something, 30-something portraying 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
But Degrassi, they were young.
Drake wasn't that, no?
Yeah, Jimmy, he got shot.
He got shot?
Sorry. Oops.
Spoiler! 20 years later. Sorry. Don't apologize. You should have watched it if you wanted to.
You should have watched it. But yes, good talk.
Yeah.
Good
Super
talk.
cathartic.
Yes, that's nice. Okay, so I think we're gonna start. So what we have decided to do is doing segments now.
Like a little segment.
Yes.
Maybe not so little.
Yeah, depends. Do you wanna kick it off?
No.
Okay.
Do you want to kick it off?
Sure. Okay. So we were thinking of doing Asia's Ad Minute. We'll try to do like.
Is that what we're gonna call it?
I don't know. It's a working title.
I don't like the word minute. See,
because it's not going to be a minute, so it's like not.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
maybe
Asia's
ad talk.
Okay.
Do you like that?
Asia's ad talk. I like it. It's very
well. You can send us your suggestions,
please.
Maybe we'll have a logo or something for the YouTube video by the time this goes up, but we can change it too if you send us suggestions.
Yes, please.
What's the email?
Kind of cultured.
No,
podcast.
Kinda
cultured podcast for the number 4 at gmail.com.
Just 1 4 though, not
just
3.
1 4. Kind of cultured
so
podcast. We'll have it across the screen. Look.
Yeah, but if you're listening in audio, KINDACULTURED 4 at Gmail.
No.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to spell the whole thing again. So, Kinda Cultured Podcast 4. The
Correct.
number.
Okay. So, Asia's Ad Minute Talk, whatever it is. So, here's our first segment. So, I'm going to talk about ads because we are ad women currently and always.
Hashtag forever ad
forever ad women. So I just wanted to talk about some ads that I've seen recently. So first I wanted to talk about the Burger King one, the Stranger Thing one, where they have the Whopper upside down. Are you a fan?
You know, the greatest ads sometimes are the stupidest things. And like, that's just how the industry works.
Yeah.
Like, even, I've been looking at a lot of print ads, like award-winning print ads lately for a project. Some of them are the dumbest. Like, not the dumbest. I should correct myself. They are the simplest.
Okay.
But also, like, ideas that anybody could have thought of, but no one did.
Yeah.
For that, though, I think that is dumb.
I mean,
because you're not getting anything special or different or unique. It's just literally upside down.
But I also think there's something brilliant in companies selling people the same thing and just packaging it different, and they feel as if they're getting a new product.
Because people don't see through that. Because people are dumb too. I think we're all dumb.
I agree, but like
sometimes.
I mean, I think it's smart of them to do that, but I don't think the idea is strong because Baskin Robbins went ahead and did an upside down sundae,
which is better.
How? It's the same thing.
But at least you can tell it's upside down. A burger just looks the same either way. No?
Bun. I mean, they put the bottom bun on top and like the rounder part on the bottom, and then they stack.
But you can literally buy any burger, flip it upside down. There you have it.
An upside down burger.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's like a little ridiculous, but I also think like it's not the craziest thing. I remember when like the Hulk came out, like Burger King also had like a green Slurpee.
That
or
is
something,
unique.
You know?
That is unique, and you're getting a different product and whatever. You can even charge more for it if you want.
True.
But an upside down burger
is not
Whopper. Like, no.
I don't think it's like an amazing idea. And when I saw Baskin Robbins do it too, I was like, I can't believe both companies thought to do this.
But
like,
honestly, whoever did it later, it wasn't Baskin Robbins.
I think they must have been later, but like
because they're not as smart as Burger King.
I don't know, like
not that you're offending them, but
yeah, I genuinely have no idea who thought of it first. Maybe Baskin Robbins had it in the works, but then Burger King released it, so they're like, oh well, let's just like throw our thing out there.
I would have scrapped it.
Me too.
Honestly, like
but
I don't want to copy such a popular brand.
But that's also kind of like the Netflix and Hulu thing with the release of the festival, the Fire Fest. They both released it, and like, what are you gonna do? Like, you already put the money into the campaign.
Though. One is more docu style, and one is more comedy. No,
I think they're both pretty. I watched both. I think you should watch both. I think they're both good. one has the guy, and then the other one Did you see that commercial?
With the guy?
With the guy in it?
Was it for water?
No, it's a commercial for Ryan Reynolds. I think he has like an alcohol company. I don't know if it's like whiskey or gin. I don't know. But like he was talking about like working overtime to get the right product or whatever because his company or whatever puts in the extra mile. And like you see it on the TV, and then the guy from the Firefest, he was like, oh, finally a company that knows what it is to like put in the extra mile.
Oh my God.
It's worth checking. It's so funny. I wasn't even going to talk about that ad, but that was pop culture. Beautiful. It was just perfect. I thought it was hilarious. But, okay. So the ad that so we're finished talking about the Burger King. I think the consensus is
no.
pass. Like, yeah. I don't know.
Same.
Pass for both of them. Let's be clear.
Yeah, no, for both. Baskin Robbins, like, no, like, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, if they came second, I think at least a sundae is more visible when you put it upside down.
Yeah, like the cone pieces were like sticking out. So
maybe I don't know what a sundae is.
well, what they have is like a little cup, and then they have like the cherry on the bottom. I guess maybe some whipped cream, the little ice cream,
is
and
it a
then
transparent cup.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then they have like the cones.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But Burger King, like, you can just flip any burger upside down. Also, a sundae, you can make any sundae upside down. But a burger just looks the same. Like, no one cares.
I mean, I think it is what it is. I think they,
And did they win an award in Cannes for it? I think they did.
Did they?
They won something.
I feel like it was recent.
No. Yeah, you're right. They won, like, a few things.
Okay.
In Cannes, though.
I mean, Burger King is an excellent company, and the agency that
You're trying to get hired there?
Hey, David. David is the advertising company that does Burger King stuff here in Miami. We love your work.
She loves your work.
I love it. I think the work that they have done has been great. This particular one, I'm not like excited about, but I also think it's a little niche. Not everybody likes Stranger Things. Not everybody, feel the desire to watch the show. I think there was just a little disconnect, but that may be a personal thing. And like in all good advertising or bad advertising, if you don't like it, it's probably not for you.
And I'm going to refrain from giving my opinion about the brand and their work.
Okay.
But yeah.
But the last commercial I wanted to talk about was MasterCard, because it's Pride Month. And they did a masterful job at crafting a commercial that really, I think, significantly changed the lives of like their users or their customers. So they have a commercial where for transgender people, like they have a hard time like giving their card because like if they have a girl name but they look like a guy, there's gonna be like person's gonna be like, bro, this is not your card, whatever. So MasterCard like gave them a new card with the name that they like that resonates with them, or the name they chose. The name that they chose. So now like the name matches who they are.
But they're giving, so what are they advertising other than like #Pride Month?
They're advertising. I mean,
they're advertising the option that you have now to change your name on your card without much hassle, I imagine.
Yeah.
Because you can change your name on any card ever.
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, but like the campaign itself was just like a bunch of people coming in and like telling their story. And
trans people, right?
Yes, coming in, telling their story.
Genderqueer, non-binary people.
Exactly. And they just got their card for the first time and they were super emotional about it because...
That's awesome.
It was, I mean, I imagine it must be emotional. So, yeah, I thought it was a really good commercial. And unlike a lot of the companies I've seen, like, I think a lot of companies for like Pride Month and like Black History Month and Hispanic American Month, like they just slap whatever coincides with that.
Whatever movement.
Yeah, like they put a rainbow or they put the little, black fist, whatever to say like, oh, we are in support. But I think what MasterCard did was a physical, tangible embodiment of like, we are with you. We're here on your battle, and we're doing something and creating something for you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's great what they did. Amazing. I applaud them. But I also think even showing a little bit of support with a rainbow that you put on your page, you change your profile picture to like a rainbow or whatever the movement is.
Mm-hmm.
I think showing that support is also valid and is also appreciated. Even if you're not moving mountains for these people or whatever the minority you're supporting or whatever the movement it is, I think just showing a little bit of support, saying, hey, we're a big brand and we care about you, I think that matters too. It's not the best you can do, of course, but I think that people value it too. Like, just showing or saying that you care is better than nothing and no support at all.
I mean, I guess I have a different opinion because I think companies, I think it's just not authentic. I think slapping a rainbow on something and saying that you care has nothing to do with you're actually caring. It just means that you know that your customer base has some people who are LGBTQ, and it would be insane not to do something that resonates with them. I don't think it's authentic. And I also think that, like, okay, I mean, I can't speak for LGBTQ, but I know, like, if it were Black, like Juneteenth, for example, that just passed, like, which was, like, when...
We should talk about Juneteenth.
Yeah, like, when...
Because I'm not super cultured on it.
I gotta be honest, I'm not super cultured on it either, but I do know, like, that was the day that it was officially, like,
Juneteenth?
Juneteenth.
That's not a day.
June 13th.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Where, like slavery was, like, abolished or like, it was
that should
illegal.
be, like, a national holiday.
I mean, it's not, but, like...
No, but it should be celebrated.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But, like, I'm just saying that, like, it's one thing to talk the talk and it's another thing to walk the walk.
But if it gives them visibility, which is what they need, I think it's something. Like, you're helping a little bit, even if you're not, moving mountains, as I said. And not every brand, you know how hard it is for a brand to, like, do something so controversial? Especially if they're, like, neutral and they're trying to stay away from controversy and they're trying to support customers but not lose others and blah, blah, blah. Like...
But, I mean, I think this is 2019. Like, I think most brands have a stance on things. And if you don't, like, what are you doing? Like, I think appealing to the masses is no longer a thing anymore. Yeah, I think that you kind of have to have some sort of a platform. And I think just by putting whatever symbol or epithet or whatever of a movement, it doesn't make any sense. If you're a multi-billion-dollar company and you can't donate some of your funds, or...
A lot of brands also do a lot of things that people don't know. Like,
that's true. But
that, like, people don't know about.
But then they have an opportunity to do it in like this month or whatever.
You're right.
month. But I think if the only thing they're doing is changing their logo to a rainbow, it is... I'm not LGBTQ, but I would think that's meaningless. That's like somebody.
So you would rather have them not say anything, not give them support, not give them visibility?
No,
you're not a hypocrite, though. Like, I am an ally of the LGBTQ community, but I don't donate my money to their organizations or their charities. I don't, because...
Okay, but
maybe I should, I'm not a bad person. I support my LGBTQ friends, and I give them, my advice, and I support them in whatever they need.
Yeah.
And that's how I show my support, but, like, I don't, and I am an ally whenever I need to show it.
Yeah. I mean, but I also think, like, the equivalent
I'm also not a multi-billion-dollar
okay, but that's
person.
Also different. But I also think that, like, for instance, what I've noticed that some people, or what I've, like, been reading, like, some people do is, like, for Pride Month, like, they go to Pride, like, festivals or whatever, and they show up there, and they go there, they get drunk, they wear a rainbow shirt, and they go home. Because this was a festival to them, not a Pride festival that was filled with, like, people genuinely there emotional because, like, of this huge thing. So, I mean, I just think that, like, you have to, like, talk the talk and walk the walk. You can't just, like, put something and just be like, well, whatever, hey, look, we support you. Like, no, you don't. You care about your customer base. And that's okay, too. But don't, like, pretend like you care about someone's struggles and you don't.
One thing is, like, to change the logo and, like, not do anything. Another is to, like, not hire LGBTQ employees or, like, not hire Hispanic, whatever. Like, that's another thing. Like, that is being a hypocrite. Saying you support this minority or this movement, and in reality you do not support them. But I think that's what's hypocritical. But if they're not doing anything in particular to hurt them.
But think about the companies that do. Target and IKEA. IKEA was the first company to put gay people in their commercial ever. Target is ever IKEA. They were the first.
They're also from Sweden and they're super open-minded.
Yeah, and
cool,
Target
progressive.
Had a commercial not in Pride Month, but just before that said that they encourage LGBTQ people and minority groups to apply for. They didn't change their logos, neither of them, because they walked the walk.
I think a lot of brands have, McDonald's, for example, they released a print ad that was we don't hire. I don't remember the exact headline, but it was we don't hire Mexicans or Venezuelans or whatever, and there was a bunch of nationalities, and then they said we hire people, we're all the same, we don't
we don't see that.
We don't see your nationality, we see the value that you bring, blah blah blah. Don't quote me on that, but it's something like that. And I think I don't remember when that came out. I don't remember them doing anything changing their logo or whatever, but not that they would change the logo for, for a nationality. But, that is, a lot of brands do that. And, don't necessarily, oh, we're donating $3 million to this organization for immigrants or blah, blah.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Something is better than nothing.
Exactly.
But I also think that if something is not genuine, I don't want it.
Okay. Well, agree to disagree. If something is not genuine, give it to me. It's fine as long as you give it
to me. Interesting.
Okay, so I was gonna do my segment today, but after talking it over, we think it's better if I start next week because, first of all, this episode is already longer than most, and I just want to be able to give you guys the best info that I can in the best way possible so that it's not boring, but it's also informative. And we want kind of your opinions too, what you think, how you think we can take this forward. Okay, so I was going to do my little segment, which is about astrology today, but I want to wait for next week so that you guys are ready for it. I want you to look up your birth chart. There's many aspects of one's personality that is reflected through astrology. And I think it's a great way for people to get to know who they are and their personality. Am I wrong?
She changed my life.
Yes. Fun fact, my cousin thought that she was an Aries her whole life. And a huge Aries, such an Aries, until last week that I did her birth chart. And she's a Taurus.
Wow. Join the club.
Yes. So before next week, or by next week, I guess, look up your birth chart. It'll show you a bunch of things that you probably won't understand if you're not familiar with astrology. But most importantly, it'll show you your sun sign, which is the sign that everyone knows or thinks they know. That depends on your birthday, and you can most likely find it online or on magazines. In the back with the fake horoscope that is not real. But that is your sun sign. It's only one part of your personality. There's also your moon sign and your rising sign. And the three of them are very important and very key into your personality and the way that you are. So don't think that just because you're a Capricorn or an Aries, you're only that. There's so much more to you. Deep. There's so much more to you than just that. But I want you to know your moon sign, your sun sign, and your rising sign for next week so that when I talk about these things, every week I'm gonna explain a little part of astrology and what that means. For next week, for example, I could talk about what your sun sign is and how it shows through your personality. Not specifically what your sun sign is or mine, I'm a Capricorn, I'm not just that, but what the sun sign represents and how it manifests in your personality. And then for the other week, moon sign and then rising sign, and I can do specials about every single sign, how it is to be a Capricorn and how they are or how we are and the good things and the bad things and all that for every sign. So let me know if you're interested in that. Do your birth chart and I'll explain everything next week. Not everything, but just a little bit of things. And yeah, just send like any questions or suggestions for this little segment to our email, which is
Kinda Cultured podcast 4 @gmail.com.
no dot at Gmail.
No dot. Okay, no dot. We'll write it down here somewhere.
Yes. So yeah, and give us suggestions for like the name because we're still not sure. Like Carla's Astro.
I said Carla's Cosmo Corner or something.
Ooh,
CCC.
you hadn't said that. You said like something else. I said like Carla's Astro
Cosmo.
Corner.
Oh.
Or Carla's Astro Cosmos or something. That doesn't even make sense.
I don't know.
Well, but yeah. Send suggestions also for your segment.
Yes, Asia's admin that ran past the minute. We could do something else with that.
Yeah. Maybe not a minute. Maybe Asia's ad 10 minutes. But yeah. So, what did we get kind of cultured on today? A bunch of things.
A bunch of things, but mostly on my friend, like learning your perspective on things,
and
understanding how you think, which I think is great because we always have like this running joke that like we're so different, like, and on a lot of things we are, but I think at the core we're the same.
Yeah, we're the same,
yeah.
And like we understand each other's points of view. Yeah, always.
Yeah, and I mean. I think most people should. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know, your friends are not always going to don't come from the same places or, you know, understand things differently, but that's what makes us all, I don't know, unique.
Yeah.
Being,
so we got cultured on Noodz, Gen Zers, and how particular they are. Peculiar, that's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
The future of life and the weirdness of it all.
Yeah.
Also, this is going to add more to get kind of cultured on. I cannot fathom watching someone on YouTube, like, play video games, and you're watching them play, or, like, unboxing games, or unboxing toys that you want to play with, but can't because you don't have them. Like, I guess it's the same thing as watching makeup. No.
But I don't understand. I spend zero time on YouTube. It's only recently that I realized that like some people's whole lives and like whole careers are on YouTube. Like No, for the past like
5 years I've been on YouTube a lot, like especially with makeup at first and now true crime. I'm a nerd.
I don't know. I think I don't use YouTube. What I realize a lot of people do is like review for stuff. Like they But I don't like that. Like, I don't think, unless it's something I'm interested in buying, I'm not gonna watch it. Like, but I guess with the games, like people watch others play so that they can pass the game too. Yeah. But it's cheating. I mean, it's not cheating. It's just, you know.
First of all, you're wasting hours of your time trying to pass this game. And then you're wasting hours of your time watching someone else pass it. So then you can waste hours trying to pass it.
To each their own. I mean, I think a lot of people do that and they waste their time. But, like, I'd also make this, like, I also think playing games are, like, a waste of time. I didn't grow up playing games. Like, I was an only child. I didn't have a PSP or, like, what do they play?
PSP,
PlayStation. Yeah, and, like, I think I had Nintendogs on my DS.
Same. Oh my god, I love Nintendogs because I wanted a dog so badly, and like that,
same.
You know.
And I lost it like after like a year. My mom's like, "Well, there you go."
Rest in peace.
Yeah, like, dogs. Yeah, I just don't understand it, but
I grew up playing a lot of games, and then my brother like was born, and he had like the GameCube. Okay. I was looking to say the Cube one, the GameCube. And we played with him like Mario and like the Wii. We played like tennis and whatever on the Wii.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact, I talked to this person at my office. She's very smart and, like, super into, like, the trends. And she said that before, like, when we were younger, like, with the Wii, the avatars looked like us. And now, what is, like, trendy or what people want is avatars that don't look anything like us.
Like the Fortnite people?
Like, guys play with girl characters and girls play with monster characters and, like... Now you have the option to be whoever you want, and you don't want to be yourself. But also, there's this audience that wants to see themselves represented in every game, and why does the bad guy have to be black or Latino, and I'm a black guy and I want to be the hero, and, you know. So there's both, but also we're moving towards like I can be anything I want. Yeah, exactly.
2019, man. You're good.
Gen Zers are changing the world.
Yes.
Like we did when we ended avocados and like whatever other things we killed, supposedly.
Well, that's great. I'm so happy we ended that Gen Zs are changing the world. Because they are. They're the future.
Yeah, they are.
Yes. Well, yes, that's it. That's all for now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Do your birth chart. Thanks.
And like, follow, share.
Yes.
All that stuff.
We have to say it.
Like, follow, share.
So like this video, subscribe to our channel, and listen on audio platforms like Spotify, Google Play, Google Music. And that's the same thing.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? There's another one.
What?
There's another
Spotify.
Platform. Spotify. Oh,
Apple.
iTunes. Oh, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Podcast, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you're listening to us on, keep listening.
Yes. And follow us on Instagram at Kinda Cultured Podcast. No,
just kind of cultured. Just kind of cultured.
Just kind of cultured. We need to like unify all the things.
Yes,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And call Aisha at 954.
Yeah, you're gonna get dial tone.
Well,
bye
guys. Thank you for listening to us, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.